Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
Mr. President,
The US President Donald Trump has said Attorney General Pam Bondi should release whatever she thinks is credible on the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein as he faces a rare backlash from supporters after seeking to draw a line under the case. Bondi has been lambasted by some of Trump's political base after she said last week there was no evidence that Epstein kept a client list or was blackmailing powerful figures.
Thank you all for being here today.
At the weekend, Mr. Trump urged his supporters not to waste time and energy on the controversy.
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job, and I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also, but I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important, and you want credible evidence for something like that, and I think the Attorney General has handled it very well.
At least 20 people have been killed in an incident in Khan Yunis, that's according to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the controversial Israel and US-backed organization. In a statement, it said 19 people were trampled and one was stabbed in a surge driven by agitators in a crowd. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry claimed 21 Palestinians were killed, including 15 who died of suffocation as a result of tear gas fired at the GHF site. Neither account has been independently verified. At least 2 people have been killed in Russia's overnight strikes across Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky said the large-scale attacks targeted energy infrastructure and left at least 15 people injured. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia launched 400 drones and 1 ballistic missile. Russia has stepped up its attacks on cities across Ukraine this summer and was cited by Donald Trump as a reason for his decision to approve more weapons for Ukraine. Bradley Murdoch, the Australian man who murdered the British backpacker Peter Falconio in 2001, has died from throat cancer. The 67-year-old was serving a life sentence at a prison in Alice Springs in Australia's Northern Territory. The Department of Corrections said he died in Alice Spring Hospital's palliative care unit on the 15th of July, a day after the 24th anniversary of the killing. He has never revealed where he dumped the body of Peter Falconio.
The takeaway from Bradley Murdoch's death is the impact it will have on the Falconio family, that the opportunity to resolve that part of this horrific crime is now lost forever. I can't imagine what the family are going through, but I'm sure they were hopeful that prior to his passing, he would have disclosed the location of Peter Falconio's body, and I think that's an absolute tragedy.
The Cuban Minister for Labour, Marta Elena Feito Cabrera, has been forced to resign after she made comments denying the existence of beggars on the communist-run island. The minister said there was no such thing as beggars in Cuba, and people going through rubbish were in essence doing it out of choice to make easy money. Her comments, made in a parliamentary session, were widely criticised. Poverty levels and food shortages have worsened in Cuba as it continues to grapple with a severe economic crisis. The Harry Potter actress Emma Watson has been banned from driving for 6 months after she was caught speeding. Watson, who played Hermione Granger in the film franchise Harry Potter, drove 38 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone in Oxford on the evening of the 31st of July last year. Watson already had 9 points on her licence before the speeding incident occurred. The 35-year-old, now a student, was made to pay a total of £1,044. And a rare oil portrait of the Indian independence leader Mahatma Gandhi has been sold at auction in London for £152,000. The figure is much higher than the £50,000 to £70,000 that the auction house had estimated the work might fetch. It was painted in 1931 by the British artist Claire Leighton when Gandhi visited London. Bonhams said the painting is thought to be the only oil portrait Gandhi sat for.
What's quite rare about this painting is that Gandhi never sat for a painting or portrait other than this work that we know of. It was written about in an exhibition in 1978 at the Boston Public Library in the introduction to the exhibition catalogue. It was a friend of Claire Leighton who wrote that, and he said that this was the only painting that Gandhi ever sat for.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.